Well, I wanted to record a quick video on a B Phrygian Dominant exercise that I've been practicing, and the intention of the exercise is just to learn it and then forget it right away and never look back on it, really. And first things first, shout out to Chus Music. So that's CHUSSS Music. So he made that really fun backing track to practice on. I couldn't really find a B Phrygian Dominant backing track, so it was just E harmonic minor, and it's just going back and forth between the minor 1 chord and that dominant 7 chord. So just kind of noodled around with a B Phrygian Dominant idea. So just want to quickly free associate kind of what I was thinking when I was working on these things. I just had some ideas of things that I wanted to improve at, so I just built those elements into an exercise and then just practiced them to get them fluid with my hand. Really real basic stuff. So the first one, it opens up with just the straight B Phrygian Dominant scale. It goes 2 octaves and it's arranged 4 notes per string. So there's the first octave, so you should be able to go up and down 1 octave with this horizontal playing 4 notes per string. And then we go up the second octave. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so here when we go up the second octave, so we ascend by sliding the pointer. So it's B, C, D sharp, E, F sharp, G, A, B. So we're back to the tonic, and then we go C, D sharp, major 3rd, E, F sharp, G, flat 6, flat 7, and then we've got the tonic again and the flat 9 up here. So all the way up and all the way down 2 octaves. Then next, when I got to the top, I enclosed the tonic by a half-step approach from below. So it goes. So I came up G, A, and then, you know, half step above, half step below, and then I arrived at my goal. And then I just came down the, added some chromaticism between a tonic and a flat 7 in a bebop style. And then when I get to the F sharp, I hit the F sharp, go up, and then I begin this sequence where we go a half step below, scale tone above, then arrive at our goal note. So if we went up the entire scale this way, half step below the tonic, scale tone above, arrive at the tonic. And likewise, half step below the flat 9, scale tone, the D sharp above the C, and then we come to the flat 9. Same thing, half step below the D sharp, scale tone E, the perfect fourth of B7, above the major third. And then we do the same thing to enclose the perfect fourth. So we go D sharp, scale tone above is F sharp, and then we arrive at the E. And then to do the perfect fifth, we're going to hit F natural, scale tone above the F sharp, which is G natural, the flat 6, a B Phrygian Dominant, and then we come down to the perfect fifth, the F sharp. Same thing with the flat 6. We do a half step below it, which is the F sharp, scale tone above, which is A, arrive at the G natural, the flat 6, or the flat 13. Same thing with the flat 7, the note A. Half step below it is G sharp, scale tone above it is the B, and then we arrive at the A. We get the A sharp, we got the flat 9 diatonically above the B natural. So going up B Phrygian Dominant like this, it would sound like this. So that's something I picked up from a lesson with Mike Stern, and it's something I wanted to incorporate in a B Phrygian Dominant exercise, which is a scale he also told me to get acquainted with. So in Yardbird Suite, going into the bridge, we see a C major 7, and then it goes to a B7 sharp 9 chord. And it was that chord that made me kind of want to dig in and outline a B Phrygian Dominant tonality going into the bridge E minor 7 of Yardbird Suite. Okay, so going up that scale a little faster. So I just want to explain some things I'm doing. Then I get to the F sharp, and then I just go down using that exercise until I get to the tonic, and then I come down the pure scale with chromaticism between the tonic and flat 7. And then I shoot right back up the arpeggio, and I'm trying to see arpeggios more linearly. So instead of a B7 right here, staying in a box, or here, or here, I'm trying to see it right here, so laterally. B, D sharp, F with my pointer. So I'm using the same fingering that I would if I ascended the scale using the 4-note per string technique. So I'm using the same left hand fingers. Just so that my hand builds the association between that scale and the arpeggio shape. So I come up the root major third, and then I start this half step approach going up the scale. So that's another thing from Mike Stern. So every note in the scale, I'm approaching half step below. So F into F sharp into G, and then A is our next note in the pure scale, so I'm getting to it from a G sharp below. Same thing, and then here I ascended the bebop scale, chromaticism between the flat 7 and the tonic, but I did it using that half step approach. So you should be able to get up and down any scale using this half step approach. So I just went up the scale and down, but I kind of milked it by adding half step approaches. And so when I did that here, instead of just going right up the scale like I just did, I would go I used that idea of a sequence and then applied the half step approaches. So where I went up the scale, I didn't want to go straight up the scale with this. I wanted to get there more gradually. So I did the sequence. But I applied the half step approach, so we went like this. So again, that whole line a little faster. So right there at the end, I just went up, kind of an augmented, and now I just kind of burn some time. I get up to a high point that never gets returned to throughout the entire exercise, and it's this G. So once I get to the G, I want to balance that with step in the opposite direction. So I just come down chromatically to the perfect fifth, half step approach, back to it. So we go. I don't want to hit a high point and then just take off too fast. I kind of want to float around it but never come quite back to it. So we just come down chromatically to our next diatonic note, the E, the perfect fourth of B Phrygian Dominant, and then half step below, hit it. Same thing, down to our D sharp, half step below, and then return to it. And then we got this cool thing where I wanted to learn the modes, well actually the seventh chords in B Phrygian Dominant. So I come down the B Phrygian Dominant seventh chord. So that's D sharp, B, A, F sharp, D sharp. So you could practice that quite a bit. So the first mode is B7, right, of the E harmonic minor, and then I'm descending, so I'm going up the fourth mode of E harmonic minor, which is just A minor 7. And then I'm going to come down the third mode of E harmonic minor, which is G major 7 augmented, right? G sharp 5 sharp, G major 7 sharp 5, or G major 7 augmented. So it's B, G, F sharp, D sharp, B natural. So let's recap that. So B7, and then notice I'm starting and ending on the third of each mode. So B7, this is a D sharp, and now I want to get to the third of the A minor 7 chord. So that's the note C, and I'm going to get there chromatically. So it would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. see how I jumped at the end? I enclosed the minor third. Okay, and then I go right up the A minor 7 arpeggio, so it's C, E, G, A, C, and then enclose the major third of the G major 7 sharp 5 chord, the third mode of E harmonic minor, and then we're going to come down that, F sharp, D sharp, B, same thing, we're going to get to the third of the 2 minor 7 flat 5 chord, the 2 half diminished chord of E harmonic minor, which is F sharp minor 7 flat 5. So for that, we're going to hit the note because we're kind of counting like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Because we're trying to get on the chord tone on the downbeat. So here's the A. We go right up the arpeggio: A, C, E, F sharp, A, and then we're going to come down E minor major 7, the tonic 1 chord, in E harmonic minor. So it's G, E, D sharp is the major 7, B is the perfect 5th, and then G is our minor 3rd. And then we're going to go up a D sharp diminished arpeggio, but we got to get to this F sharp, the minor the flat 3rd. So we do it. See how we arrive? We get to that. Then we can come up the diminished. So F sharp, that's the minor 3rd. A is our flat 5. C is the major 6. Or a double flat 7, whatever you want to call it. And then here's D sharp, the tonic. And here's the minor 3rd again. So we've got this from the E minor major 7. 1. Half step approach to the C major 7 chord, which is the 6th mode of E harmonic minor, right? E, F sharp, G, A is the 4th mode, B, and then we've got C. And this is the major 7 chord. And here we come to the next set of strings. So we come down E, C, B natural, G, E. And here we resolve to the major 3rd of our B7 chord. So all together we got this: B7, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and A minor 7 to G major 7 sharp 5 to F sharp minor 7 flat 5, E minor major 7, F sharp, D sharp diminished, C major 7, and we just kind of approach the major 3rd of the B7. And then we come up the arpeggio, just burn a little time. So we're building an association of this arpeggio shape and some scale tones. And here we've got this bebop idea where we come down the entire scale chromatically, but every time there's a half step between diatonic scale tones, we hit the diatonic scale tone above before we descend chromatically. So in B Phrygian Dominant, this C natural is the flat 9, and it goes straight to B natural. So we play the scale tone above this C, which is D sharp, and then we come down to the B. And the reason is because there's not any half step between this C and this B, so we have to hit something, so we go to the scale tone above. You can go to any note in the chord. So we do this. And now we could come down chromatically, because between B and A there's a half step. And then again between A and G there's a half step, so we can come down chromatically. But here we have to go to the scale tone above, because right below G is the F sharp, and we can't just go straight there, so we got to go G and then the scale tone above, which is A natural, and then we get to the F sharp. Then we can come down chromatically to the E, but now E to D sharp is a half step, so we got to hit the scale tone above and then arrive at the D sharp. So we go E, F sharp, D sharp. So coming down like this. We could go to any diatonic scale tone. So say we wanted to come, instead of going up one scale tone, we could drop down a sixth where there's no half step between scale tones. So okay, so we come down that idea in the exercise. And then I wanted to get better at seeing the associated minor 7, flat 5, 2 chord. So I wanted to see it in all of its inversions. So here's an F sharp minor 7, flat 5, in one of its inversions. So we got a C. So it's all from this root position chord. So we've got this F sharp minor 7, flat 5, F sharp, C, flat 7 is E, pinky is the A. So right here we've got the second inversion. So we've got the flat 5 in the bass, then we've got the F sharp tonic, minor 3rd, flat 7. And then this inverts to this F sharp minor 7, flat 5 with the flat 7 in the bass. So it's E, A, C, F sharp on top. Then this one that most of us are familiar with. And then the last inversion right here on the 12th fret. So we've got the flat 3rd in the bass. Then we got the flat 7, the note E. F sharp is the tonic. And then we've got the flat 5 with our ring finger on the B string. Then we bring it back to this. So I'll be able to get up and down. So I knew I wanted to do something with these chord inversion shapes. So what I did is I just did the Mike Stern exercise, half step below, scale tone above, arrive at the chord tone of the F sharp minor 7 flat 5 chord. So instead of going straight up like this, I enclosed each of these scale tones. So enclose the C, enclose the F sharp, half step below, scale tone above, arrive at the note. Here's the flat 7, and on the flat 7 of every one I wanted to make this association that when you've got this minor 7 flat 5 2 chord, that from the flat 7 we can resolve it to the major 3rd of the associated dominant chord, whether it's Phrygian dominant or just a pure dominant chord. Here's the, so I've got enclosure to flat 7 and then half step below it, enclosure to the major 3rd of the dominant chord. So we would go up and down this position with the flat 5 in the bass, arpeggio like this. And then I would do the next inversion, this one, but I would enclose each scale tone the same way. Got that weird thing between when you're enclosing this flat 5 of the minor 7 flat 5 chord, we're going up this odd interval, a major 3rd. So right here, here's the minor 7 flat 5 chord we're used to. There's the flat 7 associated with that major 3rd of the dominant chord. Minor 3rd, flat 7, major 3rd of the dominant 7 chord, flat 5, tonic, and then finally this inversion. right into this last inverted shape, the one we started with, but we started with it down here. So now we're here, and we're just going to go straight up that pattern. And then come down, so you get to learn this. That shape, based off of this shape, the minor 7 flat 5 shape. So if we're here, we know we can come right down this scale. We know we could come right down the scale from this shape using a Phrygian dominant. But why rush right down? You can milk it a little bit. By adding a sequence of your choosing. So up here, I use that sequence and I come down to the flat 7, and then I wanted to just go up the scale. Chromatically, but I tried to play each chord tone or scale tone twice. So I went, which is tricky, and each chromatic passing tone I played only once, or I tried to. So when I got to the tonic, I just wanted to come down the arpeggio because you kind of hear that all the time. So I wanted to come down the root 5, 4 to the major third, and then I wanted to give it the Phrygian dominant flavor. So flat 7, flat 6 or flat 13, perfect 5th, perfect 4th, major 3rd, and then back to the tonic. So or you could end on the major 3rd. Starts as pure Mixolydian and then gets funky with Phrygian dominant at the bottom. And then I come up Phrygian dominant, that arpeggio thing I was telling you I was trying to get better at. So I do it again. And then I come down the I come down the modes again, but this time I'm playing the root and then the 7th together. So you get that major minor 2nd sound until you get to the diminished chord. Then you have to have a minor 3rd. So we got B7, A7, the notes A and G, and then G major 7 sharp 5, the notes G and F sharp for a nice minor 2nd sound, and then F sharp minor 7 flat 5. So we got F sharp and E major 2nd sound, and then we get to the minor 1 chord, E minor major 7, D sharp against E for a nice minor 2nd sound, and then as promised we get to the diminished chord, so it's C and D sharp, and then we get to the C major 7 chord, which is the flat 6, or yeah, the flat 6 mode, which is the 6th mode, I guess the flat 6, C against B for a nice minor 2nd, and then we resolve on an upbeat to B7, the note B and A. So after we come up the arpeggio, and that reminds me with this going through the modes, you know, maybe you want to spice up the order. So instead of just playing here would be root position modes that you might want to practice. So we got B7, A minor 7, and then we've got G augmented major 7, and then we've got F sharp minor 7 flat 5, then we've got E minor major 7, and then diminished, and then we've got C major 7, back to B7. So maybe you would mix up the order. Say you never want to start on the tonic, you start on the third, let's leap to the tonic, and then just come down to the seventh. So we only use 3 notes. So we going back up, we got B7, C major 7, D sharp diminished, E minor major, F sharp minor 7 flat 5, G major 7 sharp 5, A minor 7, and then back to B7. You could be creative with however you want to use that stuff. Then we just kind of, I just do this half step thing to start this perfect fourth idea, just this filler, just to get there without getting there too fast. So we're harmonizing along the 6 strings. So I'm trying to see horizontally what it looks like if I harmonize B Phrygian Dominant on 2 strings in force. So what does that look like? So that looks like F sharp to B, G to C, A to D sharp, B to E, C to F sharp, D sharp to G, E to A, and then back on top, F sharp to B, that's 1 octave. Then I come down, D sharp and G, C and F sharp, B and E, A and D sharp, and when I get to here, I just, so it's weird, we got a perfect fourth, tritone, perfect fourth, tritone, major third, perfect fourth, perfect fourth. Got some weird looking intervals when you're in the harmonic minor modes if you're going to harmonize in perfect fourth. So the last idea is a Mick Goodrick idea where I'm going up the modes in a cycle of thirds in 7th chord. So it's pretty hard for me to do with my left hand. So if I were to do that, it would be B, D sharp diminished, F sharp minor 7 flat 5, A minor 7, C major 7, E minor major 7, G augmented major 7, back to B 7. So see how it's going G, B, D, F, A, C, E, G, B, D, F, A, C, just kind of going through the cycle of thirds. So here we are on B7, B to D sharp diminished, to F sharp minor 7 flat 5. So notice there's only 1 note moving up every time. To A minor 7, to C major 7, to E minor major 7, to G major 7 sharp 5, to B 7, to D sharp diminished, to F sharp minor 7 flat to A minor 7, to C major 7, to E minor major 7, to G major 7, sharp 5, to B7, to D sharp diminished, to F sharp minor 7 flat 5, to A minor 7, to C major 7, to E minor major 7, to G major 7 sharp 5, and that brings us back to B. B7, the chord we started with. So it takes 4 cycles through all the modes to get back to your starting point if you're doing the cycles in major 7ths instead of triads. So again, if I try to get through this without talking: B, D, F, A, C, E, G sharp, G, B, D, F, A, C, E, G, B, D, F, A, C, E, G, B, D, F, A, C, E, G, B. But instead of doing all of that, I just focused on the one note that was moving from chord to chord. So if we look at that, this B goes to C when we go from B7 to D sharp diminished. And then this D sharp moves to E when we play the F sharp minor 7 flat 5. And then this F sharp moves to G when we play the A minor 7, and then this A moves to B when we play the C major 7, and so on. So those notes that are moving are the ones that I'm playing. So there's a lot of possibilities with these Mick Goodrick exercises. So here's through the first cycle. What's cool is every time we get through one, we're always ending on the flat 7 of the starting chord. So that was B. So we go. There's the first cycle. So let's go through the 4 cycles with single notes. That's the first one. B to B. Here's our next B to B. See, we're on the flat 7 of the B. Here's our next one. And then one more. And when I got to here, I just... our whole step bend. Too much. And then we do another cycle, this time of fifths, after we come. So we slide up. So now we're on B. So if we go fifths, we're going F sharp to C major to G, to D sharp, diminished, to A, to E, and then we just get to our major third of the B. So after E we go to B, that's the fifth, and we embellish it with that little same shape that can go up a half step. So I wanted to do the cycle of fifths, but I only wanted to use these two strings. So how do I have to move the chord voicings to make it fit to the cycle of fifths? So here we've got A and D sharp. I know I wanted to use that as my first B chord, and then a perfect fifth from that is the F sharp minor 7 flat 5. So this note's got to come down to C, and I'm going to hold the A as the flat third and the flat 5 of the F sharp minor 7 flat 5 chord. And then the fifth of that is going to be a C major. Well, I can't keep the A because that's a 13. That's got to come down to this G, and I'm going to hold the C, the tonic. So after C, a fifth away is the chord G in an E harmonic minor. That's going to be a G major chord with a major 7th and a sharp 5. So if I've got the note G and C, the closest possible way to get a G chord is just to lower the C to the B natural, the major third. And then a fifth away from G is D, but in E harmonic minor, it's got to be a D sharp diminished. So this G has to come down to an F sharp, which would be the flat third of a D sharp diminished chord. And then this B natural has to come down a whole step to the note A, which is the flat 5 in a D sharp diminished chord. And then the fifth of a D of some sort has got to be an A of some sort. So in E harmonic minor, it's A minor 7. So I'm holding the A on the B string, and the F sharp's going to come down to the note E. The fifth of some type of A chord is an E chord. So in E harmonic minor, it's E minor, major 7. So I'm going to hold the E and bring the A down to the minor third. And the fifth of an E minor chord is going to be a B Phrygian Dominant chord. So that's half step down this shape. Then I just end messing around. Bring a sussy chord sound out, and then I wanted to get better at just trying to grab a B7 sharp 5 chord, B7 augmented chord, and then I just stack some fours. So we've got B, E, A, another sussy sound, but I wanted the flat 9 on top, so. And then this B sus flat 9 resolves to a minor 1 chord with a major 7. And then I just still can't grab this. I still can't grab this G major 7 sharp 5 chord in one swoop. That's a trick. So that's something I wanted to build into this exercise to kind of get to that chord a little better. So the ending is this augmented to the flat 9 sus minor 1, and then you can call it a E minor major 7 chord inverted, or you could call it a G major 7 sharp 5 chord. Alright, you're not going to hear another peep out of me with this exercise. This is over, it's done with. No looking back. It's time to get on to something else, because this was not music, this was practice, this was applying some concepts deliberately to zero in on some things that I wanted to try to improve at. All right.